October was shaping up to be a very dark month and already dark year for Hasbro back shows. The negative backlash and ratings crash had caught up to the Transformers and G.I. Joe as broadcasting of new episodes of those shows became more intermittent before their inevitable cancellations. However, out of this pit came one glimmer of hope that would probably ensure that we have My Little Pony cartoons to this day. The first My Little Pony story written by Michael Reeves would air. Bringing in Michael Reeves to write and story edit for Ponies was a brilliant move. Reeves had already established a background as a fantasy writer writing for shows such as Dungeons & Dragons, including its never-produced finale. Whether by design or simply doing his job, Reeves changed the attitude towards storytelling in Ponies. His first story to air was The Return of Tambelon and would serve as a watershed moment for the show and probably My Little Pony's viability as a media franchise as a whole. It's also up there with the pilot on many lists of fan favorites. I think I've provided enough exposition, so let's just jump into the review. Part 1 opens with the Ponies and company playing hide-and-seek in Paradise Is It. She reminds the unicorns mixed race games means no weeking in or out. She then starts counting and everyone goes off to hide.
Hide with me, Shady.
And we learn that Molly is freakishly strong and she can just pull a 200-pound pony behind a rock. Baby Ribbon tries to hide in a gopher hole, but the gopher living there objects. Unfortunately, Paradise is done counting and in a panic, Baby Ribbon winks out. Adult Ribbon demands that she comes back, but Baby Ribbon has issues winking in, so only her tail comes back at first, and then her horn, and then finally the rest of her. They go at it again, and Baby Ribbon decides to hide in the pond this time. However, this time the baby sea pony there evicts her. She hides behind a rock too small to conceal her, and Paradise spots her immediately. She again panics and winks out, but doesn't wink back in at all. Adult Ribbon winks out to find her, but doesn't come back right away either. The others decide to get Megan after this. Ribbon has actually appeared in a dilapidated city where things in the fog chase her. Megan, in the meantime, says not to panic, but the semi-clairvoyant Galaxy thinks otherwise. She winks out but doesn't come back. Megan decides to spread the word that winking is off limits. They started in the nursery where the baby ponies are playing Queen of the Mountain.
I'm the Queen of the Mountain.
Of course you would be, you little turd. Baby Gussie decides to bring out the big guns to dethrone the Queen of the Turds by winking to the top. The others come in to try to stop her, but it's too late. Fizzy, in the meantime, is chasing a butterfly to the stream. The baby sea pony suggests the rocks, but Fizzy thinks winking would be safer. She winks out before anyone can get to her to tell her that in fact it's not. We also learned Gussie winked away too, so there's only one. That one is Buttons. However, as they search some rough terrain, Buttons winks out to save herself from a rock slide. That means Dream Valley is officially out of unicorns. Megan spends the night in Dream Valley and has a dream where Ribbon confronts her and says Tambelon. There's also a goat which seems to be coming for them, but Megan wakes up. She tells the others, and Paradise thinks that she's heard of the term. Paradise, voiced by the highly talented Susan Blue, was introduced to us as a character in this episode. She's the ponies historian and storyteller, being well-versed in lore and typically the one who tells stories to the baby ponies. In this episode, her knowledge of history and lore is what will come more into play. Megan figures there was a telepathic message from Ribbon, meaning that they're still alive, but they don't know where. They continue their search to the truly somber Where Have the Unicorns Gone. The only thing making this more of a downer is the visuals, like the clouds forming into unicorns and Spike thinking he's found one, only for it to be a pile of leaves. As they search, Paradise did some research. Tambelon is a city from the realm of darkness that appears on the normal plane once every 500 years. Its ruler, Grogar, tried to conquer Ponyland the last time it showed up. Unfortunately, she forgot how he was turned away, but she knows that Grogar swore revenge. As for why the unicorns disappeared, Paradise believes Tambelon takes time to phase in, but the part that could affect the unicorns winking in might have arrived faster and caught them. That seems to be the case, as the unicorns are in a dungeon where creatures called Troggles and a donkey named Bray are holding them.
Tell me when the next meal might come, if it comes.
Just think that the voice of Transformers Prime's Megatron came out of the same mouth that gave us this voice. Since the unicorns can't wink through walls, they're trapped, but Ribbon had sent a telepathic message to Megan, so hopefully they're working on things. Ray goes to Grogar to report that they fed the unicorns. Grogar is more interested in being ready for their arrival in Ponyland and shoots magic at Ray just to do it because he's a badass.
Don't daughter.
And to think that the voice is Zen, the Wonder Twin came out of the same mouth as that voice. Back at Ponyland, the ponies are ready to start searching again. However, sudden storm marks the dramatic arrival of Tambelon. The front gate opens and the Troggles pour out to do what they do, which is fire beams from their spears which form cages around whatever they hit. They quickly take the area around Paradise Estate, with those escaping heading for the hills to set up the cliffhanger.
It's done, Master. Dream Valley is yours. Exactly as I planned. Today, Dream Valley. Tomorrow, all of Ponyland.
Part 1 of Return of Tambelon was a very information-packed episode. In fact, the recap before Part 2 was more than a minute and a half long just to summarize everything that had happened. This made Part 2 particularly short with no song at all. It would instead be about the ponies regrouping and making their first moves in what would essentially be a guerrilla war going forward. Part 2 opens with the Troggles occupying Paradise Estate and Bray reporting that they've captured nearly all of the ponies. However, Grogar isn't happy with nearly all. He wants everyone in the dungeons by the next nightfall.
I am especially interested in the humans, since they, like the Troggles, have hands. We need more slaves with hands, Bray. Hands that can serve us.
Grogar is considered the best villain of the series for good reason. Not only is he powerful and leads a powerful army, but he's clever and thinking ahead. This little conversation shows how ruthless and how intelligent Grogar is. Unlike many of the previous villains, there was no obvious character weakness to Grogar for the ponies to exploit. The ponies and the others still at large in the meantime are licking their proverbial wounds. The baby ponies are with the Moonshake, who should be able to protect them. However, even the Flutter ponies have been hit hard, as Peach Blossom and Forget-Me-Not are the only ones to escape. A lot of Bush Boys were also captured, despite them exercising a right to bear arms. Even the Grundles have taken a hit.
Are you all the Grundles that are left?
There's only one of them missing, Megan, though she is their only female, so they're in deep trouble. I think there was supposed to be an uplifting song by Megan here, but the runtime issue meant it got cut. Instead, she suggests breaking into the city to find out where the others are being held and spring them. The first option is the Grundles digging into the city, but the king runs across a squad of Troggles, which puts an end to that real quickly. The Bush Boys then transform and roll out, but the Troggles use them for target practice, thinking they're tumbleweeds. Megan and Lofty go in from above under the cover of darkness and manage to get over the walls unharassed to begin their search. The captured ponies in the meantime are working on their own escape plan because, hey, who wouldn't? They've loosened a brick in the wall leading to a secret passage. Magic Star Galaxy and Heartthrob scout ahead and find an old bell Galaxy senses power from. However, they're more interested in finding a way to the streets. Megan and Lofty spot the three as they come out of a manhole, and with the way to the street level secured, they plan their escape. The group outside in the meantime wonders what's happening in Tambelon.
I'll reconnoiter and ascertain what's transpiring. Huh? I meant I will perform a covert surveillance and report back post-haste.
This is actually the only story in which Peach Blossom got to shine as a character. She's much like Wind Whistler, the intelligent pony with a massive vocabulary that can get away from her. Galaxy tells the others in the dungeon to start coming up while Peach Blossom arrives over Tambelon. She spots the escapees as they're about to cross paths with Bray and a squad of Troggles. That means it's action scene time. Wizard thinks of combining Fizzy and Gusty's powers to blast the Troggles back while the Bush Boys ram others. Bray runs to get Grogar while the ponies and company reach the gates and take out the guards. However, the gates are locked and Grogar has arrived. You know how in a game or some movies the character will fight through an entire army of goons to get to the boss, and you have to wonder how the boss fight will match taking out an army of goons? Well, Grogar shows how that can work as he proceeds to tempo kick the ponies. Single shots of his cage-making magic capture them in groups. It's all Peach Blossom can do to escape.
And the Troggles return them to the dungeon. Yes, Master. And Ray, if it happens again, you shall join them!
You magnificent bastard. Peach Blossom delivers the after-action report to the others to set up the cliffhanger.
Oh, I must look a fright. Do you have any idea what a dungeon can do to your hair?